Good morning, good boys and girls. How are you today? Happy Wednesday. Happy Superhero Day. I'm representing my favorite superhero, Superman. I have a cape. Yay. So today, what we're asking you to do is to write about your favorite superhero. It could be you can be telling me about them. You could write your own story. Maybe you're in the story. Okay. Maybe you're your superhero's sidekick. Don't forget about the real life superheroes, nurses, doctors, paramedics, police officers, firefighters, all the people that are having to work in the medical field are still going to work at this time. They are real life superheroes, okay? They're off fighting danger, okay? So I want to read you today a poem from a book called Where the Sidewalk Ends, okay? This was my favorite book when I was in third grade. My third grade teacher read it to me. It's actually mine from when I was that old. So you can see that the cover is the dust jacket is kind of torn in little places and things like that. But it's been a while since I've been in third grade. All right. This one's called Mary. Like rhymes with cherry. Mary. No one's hanging stockings up. No one's baking pie. No one's looking up to see a new star in the sky. No one's talking brotherhood. And no one's giving gifts. And no one loves a Christmas tree on March the 25th. I wanted to share that with you because that's today's date, March 25th. And I did hear that there are people putting back up Christmas trees and lights and stuff like that to try to spread cheer. Hey, it's not a bad idea, but there's worse things. But today we get to start our new book. Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger. So I'll let you take that in. Okay, we haven't met this guy yet. I believe this is Sherry. Somebody's got a trash can on their head. Of course, we have a dead rat. We know how Mrs. Jules feels about that. Okay. All right. Chapter 1 is called Explanation. That means they're going to explain something to us. Because remember, this is a series of books. This is the third book. So this chapter kind of explains to anybody that may have not read the first two books what's going on. Okay? 1. For 243 days, a lonely sign hung on the front school of Wayside, the old school building. And it's upside down. Wayside School, closed for repairs. On some days, a child would come and look at the sign and then sadly walk away. Or else, a child would come look at the sign, stand on their head, and then sadly walk away. Louis watched them come and go, but he never said hi to them. He hid whenever they came. It was his job to repair the school. Louis used to be the art teacher at Wayside School. He passed out balls and played with the kids at recess and lunch. When the school closed, the children were sent to other schools, horrible schools. No two kids went to the same school. Louis was afraid that he'd cry if he talked to them. But he worked hard. For 243 days, he pushed and pulled and shoveled and mopped. He never left the school building. At night, he slept on the couch on the 12th lounge. At night, he slept on the couch in the teacher's lounge on the 12th floor. Some days it seemed hopeless. The worst part was the smell. He often had to run and stick his head out the window to get a breath of fresh air. But whenever he felt like quitting, he thought about those poor kids stuck in those horrible schools, and he just worked harder. And at last, 243 days later, the school was ready to reopen. Well, almost ready. There was one little problem. Suddenly, from somewhere inside the building, or maybe just inside of his head, Louis heard a loud moo. He put his hands over his ears and said, "I can't hear it, I can't hear it, I can't hear it," until the mooing stopped. He had scrubbed and polished every inch of Wayside School. There were no cows anywhere. He was sure of it. Still, every once in a while, he heard something go moo, or at least he thought he did. He took the sign off the door. But before you enter, you should know something about Wayside School. Wayside School is a 30-story building with one room on each floor, except there is no 19th story. Mrs. Jules teaches the class on the 30th story. Ms. Zarves teaches the class on the 19th story. There is no Ms. Zarves. Understand? Good. Explain it to me. Louis! Someone shouted. He turned to see a red and blue overcoat running toward him. "Hi, Sherry," he said. He couldn't see her face, but he knew it had to be her, and somewhere inside that coat. Sherry jumped into his arms. I bet you're glad to be back, said Lois. You bet, said Sherry. Now I can finally get some sleep. All around the playground, old friends were getting back together. Hi, old pal, said John. Hey, good buddy, said Joe. Bebe, yelled Calvin from one side of the playground. Calvin, shouted Bebe from the other. They ran and smashed into each other. Hi, Eric, good to see you, said Eric. Hey, good to see you too, said Eric. Oh, look, there's Eric. Hi, Eric. Hi, Eric. Hi, Eric. Hi, Eric. That was Neville. Even Kathy said hello to everyone. Hey, big ear, she said to Myron as she smacked him on the back. What's happening, Smelly, she asked Damien. You didn't take a bath for 243 days, did you? Hey, Allison, did you get uglier when we were away, or were you always this ugly and I just forgot? That's a nice sweater, Kathy, said Allison, who always tried to say something nice. Kathy moved on to Terrence. I'm sure glad to see you, she said. You are, said Terrence. Yes, said Kathy. I thought you'd be in jail by now. Todd came running across the playground. Hi, Todd, shouted Sherry, and right in Lois's ear. Todd kept running. Hey, Todd, called Jason. Good to see you. Hi, Todd, called Myron and DJ. But Todd didn't answer. He just kept running until he reached the school building. Then he kissed Wayside School. Out of all the schools, Todd had been sent to the very worst one. It was awful. The first thing they had to do every morning was, wait a second, I don't have to tell you. You already know. Todd was sent to your school. Oh, that's not true. Okay. So don't forget to write about your superhero. By Friday, you want to send me something. Okay? You want to send me a picture of what you've written, or something sciencey you have done over the past 2 weeks, whether it was you wrote the paragraph about a rainbow last week, or you're doing something with seeds. Take a picture. Chloe sent me pictures of her gardening. Michaela has sent me a picture of her doing some gardening. Or you're doing some of these writing pieces that that we're talking about this week on Monday, writing about, what was Monday? Oh no. Spring. Yesterday, your sports team. Today, superhero. Tomorrow will be about Cap. Okay? Or you made that poster about hand washing for your family. Having a grown-up take a picture and send it to me, please. Okay? All right, I'll be on in a little bit. We'll check in on our seats. See you soon.